To do your first backup with Retrospect to an external hard drive, click on Backup, and then click on Backup again. And then go ahead and switch to Advanced mode, and go to Sources. Under Sources, you can pick what disk or disks you'd like to back up. In this case, we're going to go ahead and select the C drive, and then click OK. And then we go to Destination. We have to create backup set for our destination. And we have a couple of different choices: tape, disk, removable disk, optical, or file. In this case, we plan to back up onto an external USB hard drive, and so we're going to choose disk, and then click on Next. And we can give it a name such as My Backup. And then we go ahead and we have to select the disk that we want to use as our backup device or backup destination. In this case, we're going to go ahead and select our F drive, which happens to be our backup disk. And then we click OK. And then Retrospect will ask us how much of the total disk space do we want to reserve for this backup. In this case, we're going to reserve 99% of the disk. And then click on Next. Then we have the option of security. This basically is your opportunity to encrypt your backup for safety purposes. We can choose password only or as high as AES 256-bit encryption. If you do choose to use encryption, make sure that you always remember that password, because there's no way to recover the password at a later date if you've lost it. And without that password, you cannot restore your data. For now, we're going to say none. We're going to click Next. And then we have the option of selecting our choices for when your disk becomes full. We can either have Retrospect ask for an additional disk to be added to the total backup, or we can use the grooming feature, which allows Retrospect to automatically delete or purge out old data after the disk becomes full. In this case, we're going to go ahead and just have Retrospect look for a new disk, and then click on Next. Next, Retrospect will ask us where we'd like to save our catalog files. The catalog file is just an index of all the data that gets written to your backup device. In this case, we're going to use the default location, and go ahead and click on Next, and then Finish. Once Retrospect has created the backup set for the destination, we can go ahead and click on OK. And then we can look at our various options. We've selected all files. We have thorough verification on. And if we want, we can go in here and choose the option to do data compression, which will save you space on your backup media. We click OK, and then we choose Backup to begin the backup operation. Retrospect will scan the drive to see which files are new or changed since the previous backup. Because we have not done a backup yet, Retrospect will copy 100% of the drive. In the future, we'll only copy the new or changed files since the last time you used the My Backup destination. Once the scan is done, Retrospect will then begin to copy your files. After all of the files have been copied to your disk, Retrospect will go back and do a verification pass to make sure that the files on the backup are identical to the original files. If for some reason Retrospect is having trouble reading a file, it will report an error in the operations log that you can review later. The Executing tab of the Activity Monitor will show you the number of files that are completed, the number of files remaining, the total duration, and the performance or the speed of that copy operation.